if you are flying, brace yourself for chaos. We're already seeing major disruptions as the Trump administration begins implementing its plan to cut flights in response to the longest shutdown in history. So far, airlines have canceled more than 800 flights across the country. And to give you some perspective, that's 4 times more than they canceled yesterday. The FAA is slashing 4% of air traffic at 40 of the busiest airports from coast to coast beginning today. That number, by the way, will rise to 10% by next Friday if the government does not reopen. All this coming as air traffic controllers are working without pay during the shutdown ahead of what is always a busy holiday travel season. CNN's Jason Carroll is live for us at Newark International Airport in New Jersey. What are you seeing this morning? There is a lot of concern from the pictures we've been seeing from places like Houston with thousands standing in lines.
Yeah. Well, we're already hearing, Sarah, from passengers this morning who are talking about this headache that they're now dealing with in terms of trying to get from point A to point B. When you look at the travel board here, it's really kind of deceiving because you look, all these flights here taking off on time, but that's really not telling the whole story of what's been happening out here. As you say, the FAA canceling flights at 40 of the busiest airports all across the country. So that includes all of the New York City airports, obviously including Newark, places like Miami, Chicago, Memphis, Los Angeles. In addition to that, we've already heard from some of the airline carriers. Here are some of their numbers. Delta canceling 170 flights, United 200, American 220, Southwest canceling 100 flights. Now, as I said, we've already heard from some passengers this morning. I want you to listen to this one person that we spoke to. She talked about the nightmare she dealt with last night and then again this morning.
In the middle of the night, Air Canada just canceled my trip. They rebooked me, but I woke up to get to Newark, New Jersey, and I'm in an Uber. As soon as I step into the Uber, I pull up the new itinerary. You're not anticipating to be rebooked all the way at JFK. An hour earlier than the flight I was on here.
So what are you going to do?
I'm renting a car. I have to be back in Utah by Tuesday, and from what I hear with the counters, the airline counters, and TSA, they literally said to me, if I were you, I wouldn't travel over the next 3 days. So.
And who said that to you?
People at the TSA,
I see.
Clear, and the counters, the airline counters, because I think it's going to get worse.
So there you go, Sarah. Her decision was forget what's happening and what may end up happening here. She's going to hop in a car, drive across country to Utah. These are just some of the stories that we're hearing about. Spoke to another group of passengers who say that, yeah, they're going to take off. They're going to get out of here today. Their worry is what's going to happen on the return. They're heading to St. Louis, and that's what we're hearing from a lot of passengers taking off today. What happens on the return end of their leg of their flight? What do they do then? And of course, if this continues on, what's going to happen for the holiday season? So a lot of concerns out here today and what's going to happen over the next few days.
Yeah,
Sarah?
A couple of takeaways from what you've shown us is that right now at Newark, things are okay. The lines aren't too long, the flights are going out, but you're hearing from passengers who are being told by the people on the ground, they're saying, you know what? I wouldn't travel for the next couple of days, for the next 3 days, because you don't know what's going to happen on the other end. Jason Carroll, thank you so much for being up early with us this morning. I appreciate you.
So if you are supposed to fly today, good luck and stick close to your travel apps. More than 800 flights have already been canceled this morning as the Trump administration begins its drastic move of cutting air traffic at 40 of the country's busiest airports. The FAA says it is all in the name of safety, and they are looking at mounting staffing shortages from the record-long government shutdown. Also new this morning, the FAA is reporting staffing problems at 3 facilities that handle flights at Newark, Boston, and Southern California. Controllers, air traffic controllers, are now supposed to work without pay for more than a month, and they just can't. And it's all expected to start snowballing because, as we well know, one flight delay and cancellation in one airport has ripple effects at so many other airports. So how can you best prepare with this kind of falling on all of us? Joining me right now is Haley Berg, the lead economist for the travel app and website Hopper. Haley, it's all on you now to give us best advice, because this is really hitting a lot of people. What are, first and foremost, before we get to the advice, what are you seeing just in terms of trends already among flyers and people scheduled to fly and booking flights during this shutdown?
We've already seen an increase in travelers feeling apprehensive about disruptions even before this announcement from the FAA. We have a product, Disruption Assistance, that helps travelers rebook on any airline if they're canceled or delayed. We've seen a 60% increase in customers adding that before the shutdown was announced. And we've seen a 40% surge in customers adding that product just in the last 48 hours since this reduction was announced. So travelers are apprehensive. It's already impacting where they're putting their money and how they're thinking about their trips.
Yeah, I want to play for you what one person just told my colleague Jason Carroll this morning about how this has been playing out for her. She had a flight, it was canceled, moved to one airport, moved to another airport, and now she's almost out of luck. Listen to this.
I'm renting a car. I have to be back in Utah by Tuesday, and from what I hear with the counters, the airline counters and TSA, they literally said to me, if I were you, I wouldn't travel over the next 3 days. So
And who said that to you?
people at the TSA,
I see.
Clear, and the counters, the airline counters, because they think it's going to get worse.
I mean, they're hearing that from folks working at the airport. So what is a flyer to do if they can't control takeoff and landing?
For travelers who are hitting the skies this weekend, we do expect there's going to be a lot of disruption, probably more than just the 800 or so flights that have been canceled so far today and the many more we expect this weekend. I really recommend, if you have to fly, do what you can to prepare. Download your airline's app, sign up for text messages, use the Where's My Plane function on your airline's app, and make sure that you've double checked, are there other flights to your destination? If you need to make a schedule change, which flight should you advocate to get on when you do reach that customer service agent? There are going to be longer lines at TSA, at customer service. Imagine this weekend similar to when an unexpected blizzard hits and shuts down multiple large airports. People are going to face cancellations and many significant delays. So being prepared if you have to travel is the number one tip. You don't have to travel. Airlines are being very flexible with refunds and rescheduling of flights. So definitely check your airline's website to see what offers are available if you do want to change or cancel your trip.
One thing that kind of got our attention yesterday was that the CEO of Frontier Airlines had suggested to customers in a message that with this being out of their control, that he was suggesting that passengers that have a ticket on Frontier book a backup ticket on another airline. But not everyone has that kind of cash to book a backup ticket. I mean, is that a good idea?
I would recommend, rather than booking multiple tickets and actually filling seats that others could be booking if they're trying to reschedule, if you haven't booked, I would book with a disruption assistance product. It's different than travel insurance. If your flight's delayed, canceled, or you miss a connection, you can rebook immediately on any flight, regardless of the carrier. If you're not satisfied with the flight options, you can opt for a refund and keep that disrupted flight. A product like Disruption Assistance is going to be way more useful to you than having two tickets and potentially both of those being disrupted and occupying a seat that you're not going to use that someone else could be rebooking on.
There's so much uncertainty all the time when we fly these days, and now this added to it with no end in sight. I think everyone can take any good advice right now. Thank you, Haley, for that.